Vikings began outward expansion before the 14th century. Europe was not prepared for expansion, and by 1450 were threatened by the Ottoman Turks under Sultan Muhammad II. Muhammad captured Constantinople and controlled the eastern Mediterranean. Isabella and Ferdinand had a united Spanish bureaucracy and was strong enough to explore outside of Europe, but they were beat. Portugal came from behind as a surprise to Europe. They took Ceuta and Morocco in 1415. This began Europeans' control of overseas territory. Four main reasons for Portugal's expansion: Christianize Muslims, find gold, find a route to the spice markets of India, and find Prester John, which was a mythical Christian figure. Prince Henry, the navigator, was the leader of expansion. Under King John II, Portugal made trading ports in Africa, and by 1500, Portugal controlled the flow of gold to Europe. Vasco da Gama reached Lisbon and returned with Indian cloth and spices. Under King Manuel, Portugal set up trading posts in India. Portugal also appointed Alfonso de Albuquerque as governor of India. This all began Portugal's power. In March of 1493, Spain sent Christopher Columbus to enter the Lisbon harbor. With more exploration came better technology. Cannon fire was an older, 1400s form of defense. They were rather cumbersome to move, as they weighed over 800 pounds. They proved to be effective at sea, mounted onto ships. The Portuguese developed a new ship called the caravel, which was lighter than its precursor, the galley, and was very effective with attached cannon. Other technology included the magnetic compass, which enabled sailors to determine their direction and position at course, the astrolabe, which was used to determine the latitude and longitude. In addition, maps were greatly improved. A big question from this section is why people explored. In the 1600s, it began, and this was mainly for religious reasons, such as converting Muslims or pagans to Christianity. Also, Spaniards saw economic and political opportunities in the Americas. In addition, wealth was a very important factor. Also, following Renaissance curiosity, which was exemplified with the popular reading of Fernandez de Oviedo's General History of the Indies, which talked about exploration. Spices were also sought after. However, the main reason for exploration was material profit, and the discovery of gold was everyone's motive.
Christopher Columbus was heavily criticized for the misunderstanding of what he had discovered in the Americas. He often enslaved and killed the Native Americans that he encountered. He was a harsh and terribly ineffective ruler of Spain's Caribbean colony. In fact, he was not even the first to uncover the continents. Many Europeans and Africans had done it before him. Christopher Columbus witnessed the Spanish reconquest of Granada as well as the return of Christianity to Muslim Granada. Isabella and Ferdinand were regarded as most Catholic kings by Spanish Pope Alexander IV. Columbus knew the sea extremely well. He used portolans, which was developed by the Portuguese, and the magnetic needle as a nautical instrument. Columbus's goal in venturing on his first voyage was to find a direct route from Spain to Asia to expedite trade. Columbus lied about what he saw and described what he wanted to see in the Caribbean as the Garden of Eden. This was false propaganda, but the New World's false image still fascinated Europeans. Columbus established a trade with the Portuguese as well as Africa and the islands of the Atlantic. In doing this, a government had to be established. However, Columbus was not suited for or interested in politics. As a result, in 1496, he took control of the island of Hispaniola and enslaved the Native Americans. Columbus, in doing this, sparked the beginning of a Spanish imperial administration. News of Columbus's first voyage spread through Europe like wildfire, and on the 1st of April, 1493, a printer in Barcelona published Columbus's letter in Spanish that described what he thought he had discovered. At the end of the month, the letter was translated in Latin, called De Insulis Inventis, and in the same year, Paris, Basel, Antwerp, and Venice had 6 more Latin editions.